folks! Today we're starting a brand new series called
Cursed Corporate Collabs,
which was inspired by this tweet and this tweet alone. The series where we answer the question, or don't answer the question, who asked for this? We're not going to just be talking about makeup collabs, though we do have two that I'm going to talk about, ones that I've talked about in anti-hauls and other things before, but some other things that don't make any sense, collabs that truly are confounding, confusing, you see no connection, no real world connection between the two, and just kind of talk about how silly they are, okay? We're not doing any like in-depth analysis of this, mostly just looking at it to just why. You know, I looked at a list of things the other day. Josh sent me a list of like game collabs, and there were some that actually made a little bit of sense. Like Shu Uemura did one with like Nintendo, even though Mario was kind of confusing, but like Shu working with Nintendo actually makes sense. But there's some on that list that we're going to talk about that are just truly, truly baffling. But we will start with the said corporate collaboration that inspired this video. Tokyopop, Disney, and Cracker Barrel. So I saw this tweet a little while back, and it was an announcement about the new Disney branded Nightmare Before Christmas manga, which I didn't even know was going to be a thing. I have manga behind me. I didn't know that Nightmare Before Christmas was going to make a manga. I don't know why they need one, because the whole like, why do we need this? It's been like 20 some odd years. It's been almost 30 years since that movie came out. I don't know of anybody of my generation that asked for a Nightmare Before Christmas manga, but it's Disney, so it's to be expected for them to be doing things that make no sense other than just to make more money off of existing intellectual properties. Disney, we beat the intellectual properties into a pulp until nobody cares about them anymore. So Disney's doing Nightmare Before Christmas manga, and it sounds like they're doing multiple. This is going to be the first of many. So they're collaborating with Tokyopop, which realistically I only knew of because of the original dub they did for Initial D. I haven't looked too much into Tokyopop. Most of the anime I watch now is like via Crunchyroll and Funimation. Tokyopop and Disney are making manga. All right, already a little bit confusing. Okay, like already like, okay, not the weirdest thing in the world, but the weirdest part, truly, the weirdest part of this tweet was now brought to you by Tokyopop. You can find copies of the Nightmare Before Christmas manga at your local Cracker Barrel.
Why?
We don't have Cracker Barrel here in the Pacific Northwest, so I've never been to Cracker Barrel. I know they do like country fried steak. It's like a southern like staple. And none of that makes me think of Disney and manga and Nightmare Before Christmas. None of it does. Like, wait. My question is who is thinking, ooh, I want to buy the new Nightmare Before Christmas manga. Gotta go down to our local Cracker Barrel to buy it. Like, no, that sounds like it should show up in Hot Topic, inside Box Lunch, basically any store in the mall that would make more sense than inside a Cracker Barrel. Like, I just can't stop laughing about it. This article on the Mary Sue, Tokyopop teams up with Cracker Barrel to let us read Disney manga with the side of country fried steak. To be more specific, the Nightmare Before Christmas manga will be available perhaps somewhere between, checks Cracker Barrel website for book selection, pocket Bibles, and children's books. There's no word on whether or not this will be a one-time thing or if we can expect to see more manga, Disney or otherwise, in the Old Country store. Though I will say, if they're sticking with Disney manga, there's apparently a lot to choose from. Yeah. When I saw this tweet, it looked like a corporate collab that was written and decided by an AI that was fed other weird corporate collabs for like 2 weeks. Like it was just, here's a bunch of brands, here's a bunch of corporations, spit something out that is as unhinged as possible. And that's what came of this. Literally the responses are just, I don't understand. What? The funniest response I heard from this was Josh's. I sent this to him. I said, this doesn't make any sense. He's like, this makes negative sense. This took sense away from me that I want back. Why? Whatever the case, it's obvious that Tokyopop, at the very least, knew how to react to this, as their social media manager is having fun responding to the general consensus of no, seriously, what the fuck? One of the responses said, "Bro, what?" And then Tokyopop was like, "What? Haven't you ever had chicken pot pie by a roaring fireplace while reading your favorite manga?" I don't know if this is Munch Squad worthy, but it's the weirdest brand crossover I've ever seen. Tokyopop says, "Hey, we're just here to read manga, enjoy some biscuits and gravy." And hey, it's not like the collaboration is doing any harm, right? Somebody says, "Oh yeah, for sure, dude. Next time I swing by Cracker Barrel, I'll keep an eye out for Nightmare Before Christmas manga. Goofs aside, I am certain that there's at least one kid who will be dragged to Cracker Barrel by their family, see this in the gift shop and go, oh, cool." Like, this was the funniest thing I have seen on Twitter. This got me back onto Twitter. Like, I was taking several days off of Twitter because of insomnia, and I was, like, spending too much time doom scrolling, and I saw this, and I was like, all right, back on Twitter, here I go. Like, it was the funniest thing I had seen in a long time. So thank you, Tokyopop, for the laughs. Thank you. We don't have Cracker Barrel here, so that's the thing. Can you buy it online? I don't have Cracker Barrel. Will anybody over here on the West Coast get to try the Nightmare Before Christmas Disney manga? I don't know. But apparently they have pocket Bibles too. So for all your needs, chicken fried steak, pocket Bibles, and Disney manga. All right, that's a thing. Next, let's talk about a couple of makeup collabs that we've talked about before because they came out this year. First being the Chipotle and Elf collab. Now, I will say, out of all of the cursed makeup collabs that I have seen corporations do, this was one of the silliest, but it was actually done very well because they truly went all in on the marketing, on the branding, on the product design. That's the thing. If you're gonna do a gimmick, if a corporation is gonna do like a gimmicky collab with a brand, go like 200%. Like if you're gonna do it, like do it hard. Don't half-ass it. It's the half-assed collabs that piss me off even more because at that point it's just like it's a cheap cash grab that nobody worked for. At least if you're gonna do it like the Chipotle and Elf one, they put out multiple products. They had the bag, they had the palette itself looked like the trays where you get your food at Chipotle. The colors actually kind of made sense. Was it silly? Yes. Was it ridiculous? Absolutely. Did I buy it? No. I heard the quality wasn't bad. Like the quality wasn't bad and it wasn't that expensive because it was Elf. They put out like sponges and other things that like matched the branding and it was so ridiculous that it kind of worked. It was a gimmick, don't get me wrong. Like it was totally a gimmick. The idea of putting like guac on your eyes, fucking hilarious. Like that's just hilarious. It's so funny. They actually did put in work, it seems like, you know? Like props for that. Like you gotta have a little bit of respect. If a brand is gonna do a silly collab like that, at least commit. And they commit. For sure. Now a makeup brand and corporate brand that did not commit was Sims and MAC. And this will be on the top of my list of the worst makeup releases of 2021. I am compiling my list currently, so if you have any that you remember from this year, let me know. It will be one of the videos coming out next month. And this truly was a new low for MAC, I think, because MAC had done some dumb collabs in the past where it was really lazy or like in bad taste. Like there's plenty of like in bad taste MAC collabs. Like there was one collab that they did before I even started like watching makeup content and like consuming makeup that they did that was just horrendous, heinous. But as far as just the laziest collabs, this is on the top of the list. Because they took an eyeshadow palette that was pre-existing, that had been like discontinued, and then didn't even change the packaging of the palette itself, didn't change any of the names, didn't change anything about the palette. They just put it in a blue box with the Sims logo on it. There was so much confusion about this release too, because people were like, is this supposed to be a Sims palette, or is this just like a tie-in with the game? Like, are people gonna get like a MAC palette in the game? Like, who knows? It was just a sad, boring brown palette that didn't even match the makeup that MAC put in the game, because last year MAC and The Sims did a previous collab where they added new makeup swatches in the game, in Create a Sim. And can I just tell you, they're bad. They're bad. So is this collab on brand because the makeup in The Sims is bad? I don't know. Probably. Because literally, the makeup in The Sims is bad. Like, the only good makeup The only really good makeup I have found has been from custom content creators, from modders. The only thing that really helped the makeup in The Sims was when they added in the swatch sliders to where you could change the saturation, because so many of the blushes, the eyeshadows, everything was so oversaturated that like it looked ridiculous all the time. So being able to change the hue and the saturation actually was kind of nice. But before that, the makeup in the game was pretty much all bad. Like the eyeliner was dumb. Like Lil Simsy calls the MAC eyeliner the sperm liner because it looks like little sperm swimming on the eyes. It just looks dumb. It doesn't look good. And so this MAC and Sims collab was kind of on brand because it was bad. Did they kind of nail it? I don't know. Like they kind of did they? Did they like do a collab that was so bad that it worked? I'm trying to think other things that they added. They haven't really they added in a little bit of makeup that came actually from custom content creators. They did like an update where they worked with CC makers like Grim Cookies and some other ones where they actually added in new makeup stuff, which again, CC creators are the backbone of the Sims community. EA could never. And they didn't with this MAC palette. And it wasn't even, it was like really tiny too. It was just like so small and so sad. Like nobody asked for it. Like it was a joke. It was an absolute travesty. It was so bad, it was funny. Like so bad. It was so bad. A couple more. We have some game things. This will definitely be a series. Don't worry, because there are so many that make no sense. I need to dig into like Fortnite collabs because some of those corporate crossovers are really questionable. But this one that John, oh boy. So this is a brand new collaboration that was announced this year, and it was a tie-in with Guilty Gear Strive, which is a game. The perfume and cologne company Fairy Tale Co. partnered up with Arc System Works to make colognes based on the two main characters, Soul Bad Guy and Kai Kisk. Soul is supposed to have a somewhat smoky flavor, while Kai is more flowery. Both scents make sense, even if the product doesn't. They were only released in Japan, but if one wanted to import them, they're about $30. So they're not super expensive. Like, they're not that... Like, it's not like a highly expensive perfume. It's something that they would probably have inside Claire's, you know? But perfumes have always been kind of weird. But to collab with a video game? Like, again, who asked for this? What gamers are out there asking to smell like their favorite video game characters? Like, I don't want to smell like Dawn Lothario. The only Sim I can imagine who would smell good is Bella Goth, realistically. Like, Bella Goth probably smells, like, super cool. Like, she probably has, like, the sultriest perfumes. But everybody else in that game probably smells like Febreze. I'm sure that Eliza Pancakes just smells like Febreze all the time. She uses Febreze, and Bob uses Febreze as a cologne. That's what they do. Nobody in that game smells good, and I can't imagine anybody thinking, yeah, I want a perfume to match my favorite video game character. No. Why? Who? This was even funnier. At least the other game was like a more kind of like adventure game, and the characters were like more like stylistically kind of like a fighter game, and it's not like a scary game. Resident Evil, as in the zombie game, like the zombie werewolf horror game, did a deodorant spray in 2016. Resident Evil had its own line of body spray. In 2016, Capcom released the T-Virus. Why the fuck would you name a deodorant after the virus? That's hilarious, honestly. That's so funny. What? Which was a deodorant spray fans could only get in the gift shops of the Japanese Capcom Cafe. So it's not like it was widely available. This is weird for a lot of reasons, but mostly because the T-Virus in the game turns people into zombies. What? I mean, I guess there's like a running gag that like gamers don't put on deodorant and that they always stink, but like selling a Resident Evil deodorant spray? What did it smell like Axe? Did it smell like what did it smell like? What did it even smell like? Why would you name a deodorant after a zombie virus? That's the fun. Oh my god. I love that so. That's actually hilarious. It's cursed, but it's hysterical. Ooh, this one Josh really got a kick out of. Final Fantasy 13, which based on his opinion is the worst Final Fantasy game. Josh could talk you for an hour or two about how Final Fantasy VII is the best. And I'm sure his ears are ringing because he can hear me talking about Final Fantasy VII. And part of me thinks he's going to walk through that door right now and just start talking about Final Fantasy VII. He's done it before at the shows he used to work on. Final Fantasy, I guess, has done a bunch of different like weird cross promotions and items within their games. But in 2015, they did a Louis Vuitton thing. Final Fantasy, it says here in thegamer.com, this is the article that Josh sent me, Final Fantasy is again legendary for making cross-promoted items in their games and out of them. One of the strangest was in 2015 when Louis Vuitton featured Lightning from Final Fantasy XIII in a magazine modeling off new clothes. Not only that, but the magazine conducted a faux interview with Lightning on her feelings about the brand and the products. This was 2 years after her solo game too, which is very weird because it's like, first of all, she's a video game character. We want to see what real people look like in the Louis Vuitton clothes. Why would you want to see what a video game character looks like in designer clothes? I know I don't care. And then also to conduct a faux interview with a video game character is so weird and meta and like creepy futuristic. It's like, no, I don't want the AI robots to take over the world. And I also don't want to know the opinion of a fake person about Louis Vuitton. Why? Again, who asked for this thing? A lot of times it seems like these brands are grasping at straws to kind of pull in new audiences, but it always just comes off so clunky and weird and confusing. The people who like either one of those things look at that collab being like, what are you trying to do? What are you trying to sell to me? That's what's confusing. It's like, what were they trying to sell? It was a game that came out 2 years prior, and I doubt that there was a lot of crossover, but the crossover is just probably so small and so niche. There had to have been one person in the boardroom that just like stood up and be like, how about this? What I would love to be a fly on the wall in the boardroom for those meetings when people come up with these ideas. Oh my God, it would be amazing. Be the fucking coolest thing, just like sitting there and just like listening to people come up with ideas and being like, okay, all right, you know. Just a lot of like brains like twitching out, just being like, what? Why? Hey? I had some other ideas. I kept thinking of other makeup brands. This will be a series, don't get me wrong. I wanted to make this not a super long video so I could make multiple parts of it because there are so many I could talk about because there's so many, they're so cursed. I could do an entire one of Disney ones. I probably will next month. Yeah, let's just do all Disney ones because there's a lot of cursed Disney collabs that just break my brain. But I want to keep this to corporate collabs, not individual like people. So I'm sticking to corporate collabs for now because I think they're funnier because there's usually a lot less like personal touch that goes into it. When you have like individual people that are collaborating, like there's definitely plenty of influencer collabs with brands that make no sense based on their own content, but I hope you enjoyed this. This was fun. I wanted to keep it light because I know that it's the start of the holiday season and it's a little bit intense for a lot of people, especially if you work in retail. So if you are working in retail, I wish you all the best. Seriously, I wish you all of the lunch breaks without Christmas music. Seriously, I will not subject you to Christmas music until December. But yeah, if anybody is going out shopping this year, if you are going to malls, if you are going to stores, please, for the love of God, have so much patience with the people working because it never gets easier. It never does. I do not miss that life. Take care of yourselves. For Song of the Day, let's see. This is another song off the new We Are Scientists record. And this one, Chris Kane actually sings. Chris Kane, who normally never sings. The first time I heard him sing solo was on Megaplex. He did a song on their last record, and I was like, wait, this doesn't sound like Keith. This is Chris's voice. Like, what? Who would... Why doesn't he sing more? So he sang more on this record, so I'm very happy about it. It's called Bought Myself a Grave, and it's very kind of out of left field, but it's very lovely, and I love Chris Kane's singing voice. So Chris, sing more, please. Yeah, We Are Scientists, Bought Myself a Grave is your song of the day. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you had a good Halloween. I hope you got to eat some tasty candy or some treats, hot chocolate, you know, we're safe, got plenty of sleep. We had some trick-or-treaters, maybe like 20, maybe 20. So we have a lot of candy left. yeah, if you guys want to follow me anywhere else on my social media, my Instagram and my Twitter are both Abers07, and then my Twitch is Abers without the 07. So check me out there if you like games, general shenanigans. Have a good one, everyone. I hope you have a good day, and I will see you all on Friday. Bye!